Hey y'all, this is Sherry, and today we're going to make a buttermilk pie. And this buttermilk pie that we're making is a family recipe, and it is over 100 years old, and it was originally made in a wood-burning stove. So let's get started. We have our pie shells, and they are at room temperature. We're doing everything at room temperature, and as you can see, I did poke a few holes in there because once the pie shell, this is a frozen pie shell, it's a deep dish. And once it starts to kind of thaw out, it'll start to puff up a little bit. So you just want to poke you some holes in there. And that way, you can always just kind of press it back down. Next, we're going to need to set the temperature on our stove to 350. Let's go ahead and put this on bake. Put that on 325, 350. And you're going to want to let this oven heat for quite a while. You want a very hot oven. And we're going to bake this at 350 for about 10 minutes. And then we're going to drop the temperature. So when it's time to do that, we'll get to that. So let's see what else we're going to need to make our buttermilk pie. Okay, here's all our ingredients. We're going to need 2 sticks of butter. This is real butter and it is salted. And I'm going to put this in the microwave for just a moment, so that we can soften this up. And let's see, let's soften it at, let's start out with the increment of 25. Okay, let's check on our butter, and this is 25 seconds. And we just want to soften it. See how that butter is softened? So let's take our handy little spatula here and just make sure the butter is nice and soft and at room temperature. Okay, the butter's all nice and soft now, and we want to add 3 cups of granulated sugar to our butter. We're just going to kind of cream the two together. It smells so good in this kitchen. Yum. Okay. We're going to cream our butter and our sugar together. Oh, look at that. Yum. And at about this stage, I like to add my 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And I already have it pre-measured so that I'm not fumbling around. And I like to use the Watkins double strength vanilla. So I'm going to add my vanilla to my sugar and my butter. Butter. Let's just get this all mixed up. We'll be back. Alright, now we have creamed our sugar, our vanilla, and our butter together. And what we're going to add next is going to be our 6 eggs. Everything is at room temperature, so all this stuff's been sitting at room temperature. So let's get our eggs. And what we're going to do with our eggs, we're going to beat these. They're going to be well beaten before we add them to our sugar mixture. So let's get us a little fork and get to beating. Okay. I figured I would just use the whisk. It would work so much easier. Okay, our eggs are well beaten. So, let's just set this over here. And let's add our eggs to our sugar, vanilla, and butter mixture. Alright. Now let's get this mixed up. It smells so good. Okay, I did go back and get a whisk just to kind of whisk this up. And what we're going to need next is our 2 teaspoons of heaping flour. And we're going to sift this. I like to add this to a sifter. And let's see how I'm going to get this in here one-handed. Okay, I had to put the camera down and just kind of sift this, and you want to sift those 2 heaping teaspoons, not tablespoons, teaspoons of flour. Let's see, and then we just want to mix that in real well. Looks like we're making a little cake here. Alright, and that did not take long. Get all this on the side. And that didn't take long to incorporate, not at all. But you just want to sift it. And next, we have our buttermilk. And this is full, whole fat Bulgarian buttermilk. And we're going to add 1 cup of our Bulgarian buttermilk. And we're going to add that last. Look how creamy that is. Buttermilk pies are so good. They're so creamy and they're just awesome. So let's get this mixed up. Look at that. Yum. I'm just going to kind of fold this buttermilk and make sure that it's well incorporated into this. There we go. Don't want any milk on the top. There we go. And this is mixed up real nice. And then we're going to put it into our pie shells. Okay, we know that our oven is nice and hot. So we are going to put our pie shells in the oven very carefully. And the rack is already pulled out. And I like to add my pie shells to a upside down muffin tin. Now I just want to make sure that this is going to close. Alright, now the trick to your pie is to pour your stuff into your pie, then push it in the oven. You never pour your stuff and then try to place it in the oven, because it just doesn't work like that. Okay. Alright. Let's move to this one. This is the boring part. Sorry, you guys. I just want to make sure that it's all in there. Okay. Now, I want to get a towel, which I have right here because this is hot, and I want to gently push my pies into the oven. Okay. There we go. Got my oven lighted on and everything. And we are going to bake this at 350 for 10 minutes. And then we're going to go over here and we're going to set our timer for 10 minutes. Let's see. Timer. 10 minutes. Here we go. And when this beeps, I'm going to drop the temperature on my pies. So we'll be back. Okay, our 10 minutes is up on 350. So we're going to drop the temperature down to 300, and then we are going to time that for 40 minutes. Let's see, where's my timer? Timer for 40 minutes. All right, we're going to time this for 40 minutes, and then we'll check our pie and see if it's done. Okay, it's been 40 minutes, and we're going to test our pies. As you can see, we've got a nice golden brown, and we're going to do what I call the wiggle test. So I'm going to grab this right here, and I'm just going to wiggle it right here. Alright, I believe these pies are ready, so let's get them out of the oven. They didn't jiggle, and if they were not ready, when you tapped them in the middle, you would see it just look kind of watery and just wiggly. So these pies are done, and let's get them out of the oven. Okay, the pies are out of the oven, and they are a beautiful golden brown. And as you can see, it has a crust. You can see that crust. See it crack? It has a beautiful crust from the butter and the little bit of flour that's in it. But here you go. Here is the beautiful buttermilk pies. Thank you guys for watching.